All right. Hey, everyone. I'm Katye McGregor Bennett. This is Design Uncut, Hidden in Plain Sight, how to conceal technology or make a statement with it. I'm joined by my fabulous group of panelists today, which includes some integrators you may know, you may not know, but after today's session, you absolutely will know about. I'm also joined by my fabulous Design Uncut co-host, Veronika Miller of Modenus Media. Veronika, welcome to the show.
I love it. I love it how you do this so quickly. Where are our guests? Where are our panelists? Hello, panelists. Come on.
They're going to
join us. We've got lots of participants in the crowd today, so that's awesome. There they are. See, you just have to tell them what you need them to do. I am Veronika Miller of Modenus Media and the other half of Design Uncut, and we're super excited that, you know, it's 4 o'clock on a Thursday, really technically the end of the week in my book, and we have lots of people piling in here, so thanks so much for participating this afternoon. I hope you guys had a great CEDIA Expo, and guess what? We're bookending this thing. We're the last presentation, so we do what we want. That's what I'm
well,
saying.
we kind of do that anyways, I think.
Kind of we're going to do intros in a minute, but I definitely want to thank our sponsor for the sessions. There are two. There's a title sponsor, which are our friends from Control 4, whom you've met already yesterday morning. If you haven't, that was our top 10 tech products talk early in the morning yesterday, and that will be live here on CEDIA Expo until the end of the year. So grab that when you can. And sponsor for today is Leon Speakers. And I got to tell you, when I toured CEDIA Expo for the first time in my life, because I come from the design end, not from the tech end, that's why we work together. And I just stopped in my tracks. So designers in the room, listen up, because it's a really, really great brand that designers should know about really in all your projects. So I'm gonna give it to you, Noah, in just a minute, but thank you very much for sponsoring us. But I wanted to let all of our panelists introduce themselves, and then we'll finish up with Noah in just a minute. And we have SDI Boston in the house, Angel and Alexa Centeno. Do a quick intro, let us know what you do.
Hey, my name is Alexa Centeno, and I'm one of the CEOs for Systems Design and Integration. And we're out of Needham, Massachusetts. We have a beautiful showroom. We invite you to visit.
Yeah, my name is Angel. I'm one of the owners of Systems Design and Integration. And we love audio video technology. And we also love the design aspect of things into a room. We pride ourselves in incorporating a lot of design and a lot of beautiful things that complement technology.
And I got to ask you guys just really quickly, what led you into technology, period? Did you always have an interest in that, or what sparked that?
So when I started the business, I used to work for another company, a large integrator, and I really had a passion for technology. I had a passion for home automation and good audio. And then my wife, Alexa, when she joined us 6 years after I started the business, she just took us to the next level. She really just brought the whole thing together with design, the showroom, and how to give users a different experience.
How do you divide the tasks, and how do you stay married? How does that work?
I just do it all.
That's a very, very good answer right there.
Of course.
The design part in your showroom, is that you, Alexa, or do you guys have another party mixed in there?
Actually, both of us. Angel and I are both, we both see a vision, we both see a need of not just displaying TVs and speakers. We feel like, it's important to blend technology into a design. It's all about beautiful things today. And technology could be, it could be seen as an eyesore. So in the showroom, we implemented Leon everywhere. Every product is so beautiful. You can hide TVs, you can hide audio, and both of us sort of, play a role in our showroom, what we wanted our clients to see, how you can blend it, how you can hide it, or show it, in different beautiful ways. And Leon just has a palette of products that we incorporated. It's a good mix of technology and design.
Going to CEDIA the past 4 years is very dangerous. Going to the Leon booth. Yeah. Every time we go to the Leon booth, we end up with
Yeah.
Like the last year.
I'm not kidding. I literally stopped. I said, now I've seen everything. I can die happily. That was
best.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. And then we have Rocky Settecasi and Shanna Haecker in the room now. And we don't have your company name on the screen. We should have fixed that. But you guys are with TRIPhase, and yeah, tell us a little bit about, well, first of all about the company, but then we also want to know how you guys got into this business.
Sure. I'm Rocky with TRIPhase Technologies. So we're in central Indiana, so just north of Indianapolis. I've been doing system design. So I'm a design consultant here. I've been here for 13 years. Prior to this, I worked electronics retail. So I basically just sold products for a major national retailer for like 7 years. So I had a lot of experience in just the individual technologies, the individual products, and kind of thought about like what we all call ourselves. So we're like systems integrators, and that's always meant making technology just work with other technology, like integrating technology to work, you know, your remote, to work your TV, to work your audio, to work your security. But because of Shanna and having a designer kind of telling us what we're supposed to do and not supposed to do with technology in a house, we more integrate technology into your home aesthetic. So basically when we meet with customers here, it's all about how can we make technology work for you and blend in with the design in your home. And that's kind of what we'll get on, you know, into that with some of the pictures we can show, because it's really cool what we can do with certain products, especially from Leon. So there's lots of cool stuff we can integrate that way. But that's kind of what I do, work with people to figure out how to integrate technology into their design.
Yeah, and I'm Shanna Haecker. I am a co-founder and principal here at TRIPhase, and we've been in business 23 years this October. And about 16 years ago, we recognized a need for the interior design side of things. And that's where my passion truly lies. And let's be honest, I wanted to make sure that these tech nerds were selling things not only that were sounding great, but looking beautiful as well with the whole home integration. So yeah, that's how we came to be and what we do. And it's a nice one-stop shop for us here in Zionsville for our builders and clients alike, because we're so diversified with what we can offer through interior design, IT, custom security systems, home automation, shade lighting, and shade control. So we're kind of that one-stop shop.
Now, Shanna, I have a question for you. Was that, sorry, I want to get this in. As a designer, was it like a natural thing for you to kind of just slide right on into the tech side? What came first for you?
Well, love came first, and that was, yeah, to clarify.
Yeah, let's clarify.
Yeah, so Angel, I can appreciate where you come from. I also work with my husband, and we started this right out of college 23 years ago. He had written a business plan for it. And I was supposed to be a motivational speaker or a journalist, reporter, something like that, traveling the world. So we put our heads together and our resources together and really just became our baby and both of our passions. And it's a wonderful and fun and exciting and ever-changing industry to be in. So again, managing the company for the first 15 or so years and then transitioning into the design side is really where my passion lies.
So the secret to marriage success is really combining design and technology. We knew it. We were onto something.
See, so we're also going to start offering a marriage counseling as part of Design Uncut. Yeah,
we're designing already. I always tell designers when we consult with them is, you know, you guys, well, you're saving a lot of marriages. You're probably also breaking a few when you bust the budget. But most of the time, you kind of have that fine line, and design and tech is a fine line too, and that is my smooth segue over to Noah, because you do combine design and tech in a really great way. So Noah, tell us a little bit about Leon.
Well, first of all, Veronika, it is so good to see your face, and thank you so much for the extremely kind words. I really appreciate our conversation at CEDIA. It was a lot more fun being in person in front of the Airstream at our last conversation, walking through the halls of actual CEDIA. So I'm glad that today, at least we're bookending with this and spending time with our friends in this new way. Katie, as usual, thank you as well. And all you guys that are here sort of represent everything that our vision's all about. And so when I heard about this show, this panel, we kind of jumped on that opportunity because our vision has always been to mix art with audio and design with technology. And we didn't call it a vision when we started because Shanna, I started the business when I was very young, right out of college. I was a full-time artist, full-time musician, both jobs working. So it was basically painting all day and listening to music and playing all night. And to this day, that's still what we're doing. So we've always been a design obsessed business. We love to sort of immerse ourselves all the time in what's going on in the home, what's going on with design. And we always love to design audio products that allow our integrators be the artists and the massively creative people that they are. So I want to appreciate you guys as well for everything you do. I love being sort of an extension of the design vision in general. So I'm excited to hear what we talk about on this panel. We have a whole bunch of new things to show you guys, and I'm just really proud of the work that you guys do collectively. I'm also excited to talk to a lot of designers to answer questions that they might have, because sometimes design technology is kind of a tense conversation, as we spoke about, or it could also lead to good things. For instance, a happily married couple, both of these instances. So let's kick it off with a brief intro about the business. And Veronika, let's talk.
Let's chat. Well, we got some slides that we threw up here for you. And definitely want to hear, we heard a little bit about your own story, of course, and painter. I didn't know that. So what kind of art?
I started as a painter, all fine arts. I was a commission artist. And when I was young, I was doing everything from portraits that were small all the way to gigantic angels on ceilings. So I ran around the world painting. I was completely immersed and obsessed as a painter for many years.
Was you in the Sistine Chapel?
That was my friend,
a friend,
Michael. I call him Michael.
Your friend Michael.
Yeah, he was pretty good. He was good. He was good.
Mike,
But I definitely painted miles of pictures. But what I always talk about was music was always sort of the fuel to that fire. Because I'm an extreme extrovert. I like being around people. Painting is kind of somber. Painting at that point was I was alone on ladders oftentimes, working on murals, working on the side of buildings, I'm in my studio. And so music was always my passion and the power behind everything. So I'd always be connected and felt connected to it. And then when we were playing music, that was kind of like the outlet, like, let's go play. And so now, to this day, I don't live much different of a lifestyle. It's just my tools have changed, the palette has changed, but you'll see later in this, trying to combine art and audio is something that is truly meaningful to me, not only as an artist, but I just think that art needs to push forward and become more interactive. And, we have all these amazing technologies. And to me, those are all just toys or colors to play with. Yeah. Like talking about shades and lights and signs and TVs, these are all amazing, but talk about digital art and fabric, canvases and different palettes, and then combining all these things together. So I just see these immense possibilities for the industry. I mean, I feel like we're literally just getting started. And this conversation was a conversation that was completely not happening 20 years ago when we started. I was trying to convince stereo guys that design matters.
Design matters. And I'll take it a step further in our world, and I preach this so often, people are sick and tired of hearing it, but design leads the way. It should never follow in my mind, the stuff that you have, the textiles and amazing products that are out there they're your tools and your workspace. But you still have to have the vision. So I loved, as we were sort of getting to know you guys a little bit better, the fact that there's so much customization available is really important for a designer to know about, that you can kind of close your eyes and dream it first and invent it first, and then say, okay, now let's make this happen, rather than saying, okay, well, here's the box, here's the speaker I'm stuck with, so that's going to have to somehow look good on this otherwise beautiful wall. So, I think that the customization, which we're all just landed on that slide, but I think it's a really important conversation.
Well, and I think too, sorry, and I just want to jump in because there's more than just customization. And I think on the design side, it's important to recognize that there's also personalization. And the two are distinctly different, but no other brand really incorporates both of those things brilliantly into a technology-based product in such a way that there's a cohesive aesthetic. And you'll see, you know, we're kind of giving you, you know, like, wait for it, but you'll see that just how different the approach can be when you look at, when you sort of break the technology away from the design and allow the design to lead and the technology to support that experience. And in these projects that we're going to break down, I think you'll see a lot of that. But you know, that's a lot of what you get with this brand, and the integrations for designers. When you work with an integrator who works with a brand like Leon, think of how your designs can go to that next level, or perhaps meet or exceed the customer's expectations even more than they had ever dreamt possible. So that's kind of the basis for this. Let's kind of get into this before.
Dig in there. I mean, if we can all
Yeah.
imagine. I mean, imagine right now, like, because there's so many designers on right now. Imagine in your mind, if you close your eyes, what do you see when you think of a stereo or a stereo system? You know, you're thinking of black boxes or things that are large and obtrusive and things that, and so there's so many options now and ways to bring sound into a space that I just don't think there's a lot of awareness yet about this. There's still, this conversation is brand new still. Even if it was going on for 5 years, there's another 10 years that we need to show people what's possible with sound. And like everybody else, I think culture is based on what you love, right? What music you love, what shows you watch, how you spend your time with your family. Like, this is all what we do together. And so I always think like design and sound are such an important part of just how an interior feels. It's as important as light, you know? So the way you listen to music, like, I still want that to be everywhere. I want to be able to feel like I'm part of the space, and I want to be part of the ambience. So it's like the vibe right now that you could achieve is completely different when it comes to what the industry's offering now. It's such a different and complex series of possibilities that you have. So like right here in this slide, for instance, this is, with the new technology we have right now, you'll see on the wall, this designer wanted to actually make technology stand out because the room wasn't really singing or speaking. And so if you look on the wall on the left-hand side, you'll see a custom grill. That custom grill, that's a print on metal that's laser etched into the metal that was hand painted. So it's a whole series of artistic expressions that you're able to achieve. You know, if you want to do a custom pattern and you want to complement something. Our industry is really known for hiding a lot of things, but we could also start working on how to accent things or contrast things, because that's as important. It's a harder conversation. That's when you need a great designer to help you think about those things, even when you're working on your own space or a custom fabric. Or when you want to get crazy custom, if you look on the right-hand slide, that's actually a TV that we designed for a fashion designer, right? So this is a TV. We found and sourced 1890s surveyor's tripod that's straight up, you know, something that was a beautiful object that we found. I'm really into tripods for some reason. Don't know why. I have one right behind me right now. I just realized too.
That's how into tripods he is.
That's how into tripods I am. But I love things that are standalone. And so in this case, we actually took the television, and to create this vibe, we sourced python skin. So if you look closely at that slide, it has natural python skin wrapped around the entire edge band. And we fabricated all those special parts just to make this thing kind of stand out and be an object in the space. So again, it can be more perceived like a commissioned piece of art. Sometimes the way I see it when I'm designing for specific spaces is like, how can we make this whole place pop? How can we make it speak to us? And how can
I love that so much. You know, in all my years, I never thought to actually stick a TV on a tripod and call it a thing. I already hate those wall hanging things. This is awesome. Yeah, no, you know, it's something that we engage with, especially televisions, but also the speakers. We have them in every room. We engage with them all day long. And there they are, the black boxes of doom and destruction.
Yes, boring.
And then we put paneling over it, or we do something with it. But I think this is brilliant. This is really cool.
Thank you. And I just love to like disrupt and break. And sometimes we'll design a piece just to see what's possible for ourselves, you know, to make it more interesting. Yeah. So yeah, and so then then to break it down on a normal, more simple way to think about it, we also have a whole group of technology concealment products. And so that's like a new thing, right? So a lot of these products, they don't act like other products, right? If you ever put a refrigerator, could you imagine putting a refrigerator in a custom kitchen and then seeing the side of the refrigerator and all the wires behind it? So like even the smallest details, if you look on your right, we make a piece called the Edge Media Frame, which is a television treatment. So, you know, when I think about a window treatment, you have tons of window treatments that you can use as a designer to kind of match the decor, complement decor, figure out, you know, how much light's getting let in. You can automate it. When it comes to televisions, there's just so few. And so I don't like to see the wires behind the TV. I don't like to see the metal brackets. So the Edge Media Frame, for instance, on every display we put up, we like to trim it in so it looks like a natural part of the house, right? So by adding fabric, by adding wood, you could add sound and style right to the TV. And so, because a lot of time the TV is off, right? Now we could even add digital art to the surface of the TV. So it's really moving in a new and I think much better direction as TVs get flatter, but it also presents like completely new problems, like trying to put an 85-inch television above a fireplace. That's a giant window. That's like a giant piece of anything to put above anywhere. So it has to be made, you know, super important decisions to make it more artistic. So in the last slide you just saw, we have ways you can conceal the TV and the speakers with art, and even just be able to add little elements of the design that make it just look good when it's off. This
we'll see
right
some
here,
of those. We'll see some of those examples as Angel, Alexa, and Rocky and Shanna get into, guys. So just you'll see what he's talking about here in just a couple of minutes.
Yeah, you'll see how you get to play with these objects, right?
I have a question for you, Noah. So a lot of what we're hearing is it's custom. You know, I see sound bars in some of the pictures you just showed. But then we have so many custom options. What do designers have to think about in terms of lead times, in terms of how exorbitant is that going to be? Is it really pricey? Are there different ways of handling a situation? What's kind of a guidance there?
That's a great question. You can consider us kind of within the design within reach category of products. Okay. But when we say that, you know, you'll have to wait 12 weeks for custom furnishings, you know, because I love design. I order crazy amounts of things. But Leon, one of our things is fast turnaround time, because by the time our industry gets into the home, usually the homeowner wants in. So we've tried to create extremely fast turnaround times. Most times for a custom soundbar is 3 to 5 days. And that's handmade every time for you. So similar to like the way I was raised as an artist, like you go and you get it done. And so we have a really beautiful, amazing bunch of craftsmen here that hand build every single piece every single day. So every single day.
You guys produce that here in the States, right? Where are you located?
Yep. We're located in Ann Arbor, Michigan, which is where I went to art school. And we ended up just growing this thing, which used to be this tiny little shop in a tiny little studio. And it's still a studio, but we have just such amazing artisans that we met over the years, and lean manufacturing process to help speed the products through. So even on a long lead time or like really complex product, which would be a media decor where you have to choose art and a frame and there's integration, you're still only looking about 4 to 6 weeks. So I like to think of ourselves in a furnishing way, and our prices are similar to furnishings, you know, high-end furnishings, but I don't want to put anything out of reach. You know, everything, even our largest sound sculpture is affordable. And that's important to me because I want it to be accessible and beautiful, but I also want it to be rare, you know, and something special. So like every time you get one, you know that we are making it for you. It's still a commissioned piece of art. It's like the pieces you're seeing in front of you. Forever, our industry, I would go all the time. I go, we all were working on what we call completely hidden tech, you know, invisible speakers. In wall, basically completely out of sight. And I thought to myself, what other industry or what other product is like that? Where it was so poorly designed that people literally didn't want to see it? Was the question I said, like, is it because like, to me, like your music is like, that's the passion of life, right? That's how you portray your personality. So I was like, I want it right there. But I did see all these complexities, and the way that people were designing was like, what is that weird thingamajig that you just built with wires? So this system you're looking at, so when you think about a stereo system of the past, You think about the components and the wires and things Rocky was talking about before, right?
Yeah.
Selling at a retail store. The thing you see in front of you, this is what your stereo system could look like now, right? So that's a plug and play Wi-Fi sound system that you can choose the art, you can choose the frame, and it's literally just a sync, you know, your electrician go, your technology integrator can go put a single plug behind that piece, go and plug it in. You could choose your art, and now you have an object that not only you can design with, but you know, that will perform and play with and that you'll use every day. And so it's a new art. So I don't like to think of it as something that, oh, it's just a piece or it's a painting. We could really think of this as a new form of mixed media. And I think that we're just at the very tip of this iceberg and the tip of this evolution.
Awesome.
So,
So-
Noah, talk a little bit about this particular product that we're looking at on the screen here, and you do have some additions to this which are important, I think, to illustrate. Just spend a minute here on this and explain what.
Yeah, to
actually,
go back to that.
Go back a slide if we would.
Go back one slide. Yeah, so we did launch a whole new series of this because when we launched this product line, people started asking, can I get more? Not all of them, some people didn't even want speakers in them. They just liked that they were interchangeable art objects. So we got one designer who literally ordered 8 of these for a restaurant to use this. They filled it with sound absorption materials, and then you're able to change all the art. So they just liked it as an artistic platform. So this year we made it so you can have a stereo pair, a double pair, because what if you want a diptych or a triptych? So we made it a more flexible line so you could just kind of play with it more, use a different, you know, okay, I want a giant square over there. And in true Leon form, most people ordered completely custom things so far.
And this is all you need, right? So as you install this and all the electronics are behind it, it's a beautiful piece of art that also produces audio controlled by an app or however you listen to your music in your home, right?
Yeah, this one specifically is Sonos controlled. So literally it's all controlled by your phone. But again, when you have a great technology designer working with you, you know, they'll show you how to curate these kind of experiences so they work with your whole house.
And that's going to be, that's one of the big questions is, so with something like this in mind, it kind of, for me as a designer, really changes the conversation around when to involve your integrators or when to involve you guys as a brand, because I want to know that I can do that because it might completely change my approach to the art
Yes,
and to the space.
That's so important. That conversation is so important. And again, we need to raise awareness about this because it's 2020, which is not the best year, I know, but we are really in a technology-driven world. And it's so important to think about it right at the beginning. And that way you call your integrator in at the right time so you could dream and have the right dream. So if you look at the next side, I'm going to show you like sort of how far you can take design and commission design and mixed media. So here is what we call a sound sculpture.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a big difference between having a piece of art and a piece of interactive art. So
Mm-hmm.
in this kind of interactive art, we do a lot of commercial design. We work with custom homes. So these sound sculptures can be custom tailored to the site. And these incorporate sound and light and design and materiality. So this is some of our favorite things to design and build. They're very difficult to design and build. That's a very large one that you see on your left-hand side. But now we're really trying to take a look at a new form of art where it's not just a static piece. You know, it's going to take on its own personality. It could take on the personality of the space, and those grills could change. You know, so in this case, the designer's vision was really, if you see the beautiful fireplace that they have dropped down, they wanted to imagine that as a pendulum swinging and hitting the surface of that sculpture. And if you look closely, you'll see there's the indentation of the fireplace in the surface of the sculpture.
So cool.
So now I'm working on this, like I got kind of obsessed with this, and now I'm working on like these bizarre and radical 3-dimensional sound sculptures. So more to come on that, but I think you guys get the understanding of where we're going, and I'm so curious to hear from everybody else. And thanks for hanging with me.
That's perfect. Well, we do want to hear from everybody else, and I think we thank you, Noah. This is it's just so amazing to see what's possible, and now we have two groups of people here. So we'll start with TRIPhase and hear from Shanna and Rocky about how they've actually integrated some of your pieces in a project.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Veronika, to your point earlier, as an integrator, we are conditioned to take a design-led approach first and technology second. It's about getting to know your clients, their needs, much more than just what's your favorite color, is there something that we need to entertain, is there something that you're keeping? It's much deeper than that. Do you have kids? Do you have pets? Do you entertain? Do you host overnight guests? What do you want to do with this space? Do you want to maximize seating for a large family, et cetera, but you get the point. In this slide here, you'll notice that we learned about our clients by just asking all of those right questions. We learned that they do host large groups often. They entertain and frequent overnight guests. They have they like no or very minimal clutter, so they're minimalist, and they have a love for the great outdoors. So up at the top, you'll see that we utilized knotty alder that was left over from the build and brought that down from the ceiling so that it just really is appealing to the eye, and being able to pair it with the Leon edge there and getting to select our wood species of knotty alder to match. It just made the whole space so cohesive and added to the footprint of an 85-inch TV, right? Anybody can slap an 85 on the wall, but it's about the accessorizing that Noah was speaking about earlier. It's you put on an outfit, but when you put on the jewelry, it makes all the difference. And that's how we kind of picture that in this space. And so spatially, to add to that footprint, it makes the size, work with the cohesiveness of the entire room.
Sorry to interrupt, but I forgot how big that piece is. To put this in perspective, 85-inch TV is like 7 feet wide. It's 6 feet. It's a remarkably large thing. So we sourced that all knotty alder. That took us a while, but
that was one of the things. So you talked about lead time and certain requests like that, and that was something that we actually learned a little bit on that project, because we knew, we could get a wood species that we could stain, because one of the things you can do with Leon is you can say, hey, just ship this to us raw, and we're going to stain it on site, or we're going to paint it on site, because the painters are going to be there, the stainers are going to be there, we want it to match. And I said, of your wood species that you guys use, which one do you think is going to play best with this knotty alder? Like, should you send your normal walnut unfinished? Should you send this other species unfinished? And they said, why don't we just source some actual knotty alder? And I'm like, okay, do that. So that, it just is perfect. It blends perfect. It's fantastic.
It is perfect. And when you're working on a home like this, you recognize by walking through the space, you want to understand how people are going to live in their homes, because it could be very different than what you live through yours. This is like a fishbowl. I mean, you'll notice in some of these other pictures that this home is a wall after wall of windows. So when you have so few walls to work with, you want to make sure that they are impactful. And this just brought it all together and did exactly that. In the next space, in the office, if you'll go to the next slide, this is the mom's office. The challenge that you can't see in this space is that we were dealing with 30-foot ceilings, an open balcony, and that open balcony leads into a guest quarters. So we're thinking, okay, we don't want to put speakers up that high. We were not preparing for any type of absorption or deflection material in this space throughout the design. And so the client wanted to make sure that the cabinetry was a piece of art in itself. So when Rocky said, I've got the perfect idea, we can team up with Leon, and he knew that they would be up for the challenge, and you might speak to that a little more, but that's how we got there.
Yeah, it's just a unique question. If we've got these custom cabinets, there is no ceiling for speakers. Do we have something that could even fit in this octagon, right? Just, is there a bookshelf speaker that exists that we could just slide in there that would look cool? Like, what size rectangle bookshelf can we just slide in there that'll look nice? And can it be custom painted? And I was like, well, instead of just custom painting it to match that unique cabinet finish, I wonder if they could just go ahead and create a custom octagon speaker with a unique grill, because there's all this gold hardware on the cabinet, the door handles and the cabinet knobs, they're all that gold metal. So seeing some of the lattice work that Leon's done before and some of their unique grills, I said, can you make an octagon in this exact same cabinet finish color and incorporate some metal work on the face and just make it a piece. Like you could walk in there and not really even know it's a speaker. It's just a really cool piece of the cabinet.
Yeah.
This is eye candy. And Noah was talking about, you know, those black boxes in the bookshelf speakers earlier. We call that dust collectors and wall acne. So in the design world. So this was a great segue into making this. And Mama's happy, and she's got speakers in her office.
And they do sound great as well. They're fantastic.
Thank
So now, if I want to have a custom speaker made altogether, you're probably going to tell me 3 to 4 days again, but how long does it take? So I'm, you know, I want something in this crazy shape.
That was a really there was one really difficult part about that one, which was figuring out how to create that braided brass lattice for that octagonal shape. So the speaker was actually a quick build, probably 2 to 3 weeks for the speaker and the custom color match. When it came to braiding that brass, we actually had to literally braid the brass. So that part took I would say that part took us a long time, like almost 2 months to figure out how to get that exactly right. Because that wasn't something that was on the shelf there was nothing on the shelf that we liked. So we worked with an extreme artisan on figuring that out. And then we had to put a double frame to make it happen, but still within the project guidelines. My job is to be an extension of whatever the project is. And so whatever the project timeline is, if it needs to happen, we're making it happen. The show must go on. And that client,
that's part of our role in it as well, is trying to find these obstacles early and knowing if we have a tool, you know, in our toolbox like Leon speakers, and we've got something that's challenging like this, you've got to get into that as early as you can to say, look, this is going to be a unique thing. We need some help getting this designed. So even the design process, hey, these are the exact dimensions. We're looking at doing this. Which driver should we use? Like how big of a driver can I fit? How big is the box? So just talking through the design, they send very detailed engineering drawings. That takes a little bit of time, and then just the build. So don't just basically show up and say, hey, we got this cabinet delivered, and put a speaker in it and say, hey, Leon, go make something totally custom tomorrow.
Yeah,
we know we need it some time.
And again, I think it comes back to on these projects, knowing this is possible, it kind of makes so much more sense to come to an integrator and to maybe even come directly to Leon, and especially as a designer, and say, this is how we see this looking, and we need to have this conversation right from the start. Right?
Yeah, and right from the start being key. And you know, you guys, if you've heard us, not just on this session here today, but anytime Veronika and I are on the Design Uncut thing, get the integrator in early. And part of that is so that you can realize some of the more amazing end results with technology by giving the timeline what it deserves in order to produce brilliance. I mean, braiding brass. No, I don't know about you, but I learned to braid brass when I was like 5. So I mean, you know, that's just easy peasy. But you know, you guys.
It's a double alliteration. It makes me so happy. Anybody that knows me loves I alliterate.
It felt so good.
Beautifully braids brass. There's your alliteration.
I also love going back to what Shanna was talking about. Like, I love what you said as well, of like talking to like the homeowner about what they love, or what do you do? Who are you? What is your personality? And that's what's so important about interfacing with the right designers and integrators. You know, people who could speak that design language and really like just help you paint that picture. So that was pretty eloquent. So
yeah, that's exactly right. You get too much information up front, and you do not know how imperative that information might be later in the design. On this slide here, on the right side, this is a master suite, and you can see that wall of windows that I was talking about. So when a client says, okay, I want a TV in my master at the foot of the bed, I want no furniture and do not block my view. What do you do with that? You know, to most people, it might seem impossible, but if you're alongside of the build like we are as integrators, you can come up with a creative approach like we've done here and hide it in the ceiling. So by day, no one knows it's there. And when you're ready to catch up on Netflix, it pops down and right out of the ceiling. Same rule applies on the left-hand side. Client, again, I want a TV in my kitchen, but I don't want to block the view and necessarily, you know, want it to be seen at all times. So this gave us an opportunity to be creative with the design of the kitchen cabinet. So we bump out to give the dimension there, but also functionally, it gives us a void in the back to have room for the automated lift system. So again, while you're cooking, you can catch up on those Netflix, and when you're entertaining, it can be down and out of sight.
Just a quick sidebar there for audience, as you're looking at the flip down and the lift up, keep in mind that those types of solutions are available indoor and out. So if you've got a client who's looking to extend that entertainment experience to the great outdoors, similar philosophies apply. And it's just as simple as getting the integrator involved and sharing that that's the experience that the homeowner's looking for.
I love Future Automation too, because it's so like magical how it works. You know, Future Automation is an amazing company, and they automate things, and it's so amazing when you like press a button and all of a sudden a television pops out of your countertop. Like, I definitely want that.
Yeah.
Nowhere to put it.
Yeah.
But-
All right, Rocky, Shanna, you guys also have one more. There's something moving between Rocky and Shanna back there.
Yeah, you were talking about future automation, so I said, let's just make it move like right now while we're sitting here.
Wait.
So that's the opposite way to hide the TV in the kitchen. So you can pop it up out of a countertop, but that's going to require a cut in the countertop, and sometimes people don't want to do that. So you can actually build a cabinet forward a little bit and have the TV slide down out of the back. So that's a future automation concealment, typically a lot smaller screen size, but really coming down from above and leaving all the counter space there when you need it, which is great.
Guys,
Press the button again.
You want to get the women on board with technology? This is the way to do it.
This is the way to do it. Yeah, do
Right
the
there.
Press it
button
again. I want
again.
to see it again.
Yeah.
Press it again, Rocky. Make it.
Okay, sorry, it's coming
Press
down.
the button, Rocky. Come
Come on,
on.
Rocky.
Press the button. Here it comes. Here it comes.
I'm kidding.
Yay, there it is.
TV as if from nowhere. That's right.
That is sick.
Nice.
I
All
love
right,
that.
well,
I love
let's
it.
take a walk.
Do you guys have a second to see a couple
Absolutely.
things?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Take us on a
Walk
walk.
with us.
So
Oh,
our
nice.
showroom is almost complete here. We've been doing some renovations with our new space here. So we've created kind of a residential type feel where we just left our kitchen. And then in here, we've got some different TVs on display, which I'll touch on here in a second. But one of the products that Noah was talking about is this Ante sound tile. So here it is live. A little bit.
I haven't even seen this, so this is fun.
So this one's got a custom paint finish on the side, so it goes well with the trim and everything, but you can pick any number of, art. So Shanna selected this piece just to match with the space, but really inside it's a Sonos amplifier, concealed speakers. It sounds great. And if you see where it's placed, it's between two windows. So in a lot of installations, you've got really high ceilings. You can't put speakers in the ceiling. Wall space is kind of gone because maybe there's a TV, or maybe it's a dining room or something like that where you don't necessarily need a TV, but you just want audio, don't want to put anything in the ceiling again too high. You can use wall space for art where you already were going to place art and spend money on art, but make it functional to bring audio into the space. So that's kind of where we have it live and in use.
Is
So,
the sound quality exactly the same as just a regular speaker?
yeah, I mean, and if you've got somebody that really wants, like, depending on the kind of music they listen to or whatever, because it's Sonos, you can actually hide a Sonos subwoofer to add even more bass, which we've done in here just to show it on and off. But yeah, it still sounds great. The Sonos subwoofer is over here on the side.
Okay.
So the rest of our space here is going to show another unique product. So Noah touched on this. This is a media decor piece, and this is their Elite Art System. So this is a TV that's recessed in the wall. So there's a custom frame here around it. And then the art actually rolls down to conceal the TV. So you can see it kind of comes down in an elegant way. There's a magnet system. Noah can probably talk about it better than I can. But it basically keeps that art canvas right up against the frame. So you don't necessarily, you'd never be able to tell there was a TV behind it when it's down. It looks just like a normal piece of art, completely takes the TV out of sight when you don't want to see it. And it also operates completely silently. There's a Lutron motor in, works really quickly. And it just is a really, really cool piece to hide a TV. And you can have it built with a speaker in it. This is one thing that Noah said he didn't understand why people make speakers you can't see, but we're showcasing that here as well. We actually have completely invisible speakers in the drywall here. So we're not showcasing cool. Leon speakers on this one. Sorry, Noah, it's different.
That's
speakers.
okay. I'm totally cool. I embrace all technology.
That's right.
Yeah.
Plays well with others.
I play well with others.
So then this last piece over here is a newer piece from Leon. This is their Denza. So a really unique way to conceal speakers, and it's functional. So there's a Samsung frame TV above, and the Samsung frame TV comes with a really large media box that you have to hide behind the TV, somehow under the TV. So this Leon speaker, so you can actually see their speaker modules in there, but the Samsung Connect box is here, the amplifier for the speakers is in here, so it's really functional. But once you've got it placed, you can pick, again, frame color. You can have it custom painted to match. It can come in wood grain.
And look what we had to do this time. Look how big this.
Oh, yes.
So you can see this.
Now this piece was twice. Yeah.
Twice the braided brass.
Again,
So
she likes
And-
the braided brass.
I know. We're
Well,
figuring
it's a
this
great
out.
look.
Well, I mean,
See, I
it
just
was-
think that isn't that just gorgeous? I mean, that solves the problem of what to do with the technology. And so to hide or showcase technology, that was the question of the day. This is how you can kind of do both. You get the beauty of
That's
the
right.
frame TV up above, but you don't have all of the junk and invisible. And we don't need that. We don't need that in our life. We don't want it. It's ugly. It's hideous. Go with the Denza. Look at that.
go with the Denza. It's simple. It's short for credenza, of course. And we wanted to really rethink again, where can we put stuff? It's right in plain sight. And we always like to put things right where your ears are, where your eyes are. So that's really important to us. That it also is placed at the right part of the home, because we spend so much time looking at these things. So I think it's so important for our integrators to really spend time, and for designers to spend time on this place where a lot of Americans, the average American, will sit in front of a TV screen 6 hours a day. So like you said, binging on Netflix is real right now. It's always been real, but you can have so much fun with this. And so thank you so much. I never got to see the final site that you guys just built out. So
Come and
Wow.
Yeah,
see
the invite still stands. You can come see it, Noah. Just
I
let us
will be
know.
there. I will be coming to see that. That just is amazing that you guys did all
Well,
that.
cool little sidebar segue. And Rocky and Shanna, I'm just going to go ahead and invite the whole industry to your showroom, because when we do go back to in-person trade shows, boys and girls, CEDIA Expo is scheduled to be in Indianapolis this time next year. And you guys are how far away from downtown Indianapolis?
Oh, that's right.
20 minutes.
20 minutes.
20 minutes.
Right.
There you go. So everybody watching in today, go ahead, go to your calendar right now and make a reminder at the end of August to schedule a showroom experience tour here with Shanna and Rocky at TRIPhase Technologies. You guys, that was exceptional. Thank you so much.
Thanks for
sharing.
taking the tour.
Yeah, the
thanks
tour
for
is awesome.
spending time.
Awesome. Yeah,
And then we're going
absolutely.
to hop right into, because we're just going to keep on going. I'm telling you, the CEDIA Expo just got extended another hour. But over to Angel and Alexa for more eye candy. We're having overload here, so it's unbelievable. So guys, tell us what we're looking at. Again, and I think maybe on the left here, we're looking at your showroom. Is that right?
Yes. So on the left-hand side, we have Andy, which we love. He's part of our showroom. It's a talking piece. Everybody always thinks it's just a piece of art. And whenever we turn on the music, everybody's just blown away. Customers are, they're just always loving how it looks, how it sounds. Believe it or not, one of the things that really impresses me about the sound tile is that not necessarily just because it's a piece of art, you sacrifice sound. It does sound amazing. And to Rocky's point, if you do add a subwoofer to it, you complement it with a subwoofer, you can really take it to the next level. Below the Andy, we have a pop-up TV. So that was painted by a local artist. So, two artists created, one artist created the empty sound tile, and another artist created the pop-up TV that's right below. So, it complements the showroom very well. It's a great talking piece. We do throw quite a bit of events during the year. Well, not this year, but last year. And it's always a great talking piece. Designers really like it.
It's truly our focal points. These products, we have a beautiful experience center, and these products are actually outside the experience center. And we're inside a kitchen design showroom. It's roughly 6,500 square feet of space, and we integrated technology all over. And let me tell you, these pieces are like the focal conversation points. What's great about it is that not necessarily do you have to have Marilyn Monroe. Let's say you're not into that kind of art, or Andy. Leon can make anything, they can put your family pictures. They can put beautiful fruits or farms or animals, anything that you're into. They'll be able to incorporate into these beautiful pieces.
And when I'm looking at this, am I looking at just, is it really just speaker cloth that's printed, or how does it work?
That's it. Yeah.
On the right one.
On the left-hand side, the Ente sound tile, that piece, we wanted to make it really different. So it's printed on this micro perforated metal. So it's really modern. It's not supposed to be photorealistic. It's supposed to be art in itself. So we're really hand printing right on there. So it's pretty sick. It's like when you look at it close, it almost has that Moore's effect, because it's, you know,
little
tiny
pixel
little dot. Uh-huh.
Cool.
And like Shanna and Rocky said, you know, they concentrate on design first. We, on the other hand, we do it the other way around. We concentrate on technology first. So for instance, because usually a client would come to us if they want technology. And they'll ask us, we want the best performing soundbar, we want the best TV out there. And then the secondary is when we either work with an interior designer of the client, or we work with the client and we incorporate beautiful design that Leon has to offer, and we hide the technology after that. But our first, I guess, we focus on technology, giving them the best audio, giving them the best video, and the best that technology has to offer, all the home automation, lighting control, shades. And then we look at ways, okay, they would usually tell us, well, you know, will I just look at this black screen like this? We're like, well, no, we can match to the beam on the fireplace, or we can completely hide it. You can put a family picture, you can do a moving art. So many different ways. You have so many different options and ways to combine technology. And
I have a question for you guys. When you, the business that walks into your experience center, is it mostly homeowners kind of looking for some specific tech, or is it designers kind of saying, okay, here's the whole look? What chicken and egg? And that's a question for all of you guys. What is first? How do you normally work?
Actually a mix. Since so when we have clients that call us, it's usually homeowners. They want to experience the experience center, our showroom, or it's builders. Builders also come and say, we just got at this house, we were looking for an integrator, and we, hey, come to the showroom and we'll show you everything we have to offer, and we just go over and show them. We also have a relationship, since we are in a kitchen design center, we work with inside our showroom with kitchen partners, and they have a lot of designers who they send our way, and like, hey, come check out the way you can hide this in the kitchen. Hey, come check out the way you can blend it. So we work together with them. So I would say it's both. Mostly I would say it's homeowners and builders, but we do notice right now we've started having a little bit more designers come into the showroom and see all that we have to offer.
So when designers come in, this is just intriguing for me. Designers come into the showroom and they're there to work on kitchen stuff, and then they see what you guys have. Are they really open to technology? Is it kind of easy to talk to designers, or do you still wish there was more of a learning curve?
Yeah. So a lot of designers, one of the things that we sell the most from Leon is it's actually a piece called the TC Fit. Which by far we feel like once designers see that in our showroom, they say, oh wow, you can conceal a soundbar like that. That's like that's opening the door, you know, to a conversation. That the TC Fit by far is what starts conversations with designers in our showroom, because you can show how you can conceal, you know, a not so, you know, let's just say an ugly soundbar. You can really really nice.
Or the media edge frame, that's my favorite product. I mean, I'm completely in love with that product, and we started pushing that a lot, right?
Right.
We've been different colors.
Yeah. Can you put the previous slide real quick?
Yeah, and keep it there, because that is actually my future home.
Real quick.
That is a sick house. That is.
I already forwarded my mail, so you know. Just
You have a daylight basement.
So this house is in Jamestown, Rhode Island. The customer wanted a custom soundbar, but he is an audiophile. So we use a very nice Leon soundbar with a custom grilled cut to length. He was blown away. But he also told us that he likes to entertain a lot. He has a lot of parties. So what we did was that we installed 9 Terra. Terra is a company owned by Leon.
Oh, cool.
So we did 9 Terra in-ceiling speakers with an 8-inch driver. So this house, believe it or not, really, really sounds really, really great. They usually open those doors up to the ocean, and they really love to entertain. It's a great family. It was great working with the designer. But yeah, this conversation, it all just started by us saying, hey, would you like to hide the ugly someone?
That's so
Unbelievable.
amazing.
I have a question about this one because you have so much glazing here, so much hard surfaces on the fireplace, lots of sound bouncing, I imagine, and I don't know anything about sound. You'd be shocked to sell my house. But I also see ample amount of area rugs, soft upholstery, and so forth. Do you guys help when you install this to kind of find the right balance in terms of how the space has to be to optimize the sound, or do you guys optimize the sound based on the technology you're putting in?
Well, depending on the relationship that you have with the designer, definitely if it's repeated business, the designer will ask you, hey, well, should I stay away from glass, you know, reflective surfaces, things like that. You know, like in this job particular, you know, there was really not much that we could do. That there was a large amount of glass, so it's really reflective. So we opted for a more high performance speaker. So yeah, on this project, we definitely didn't have too much of the say on the design and where things go. You know, we just kind of came after and worked around with what they had.
Okay.
And I'm curious, when you said that the client was a bit of an audiophile, typically, at least on the tech side of the world, when we hear that phrase, the room that comes into our immediate view looks completely different than this. Veronika touched on it a little bit with the glazing and the different materials, let alone the furniture. There's more than one chair in the middle of the space, and so I just kind of wanted to touch on that for, you know, and kind of speaking, you know, through to our audience here a little bit for those scenarios where you do have a client who is very, very much into music, adamant about the sound of their music, or uses the phrase audiophile. That's, as soon as you hear that word, you're definitely going to want to get involved with an integrator and one who specializes in the best sound possible in a number of environments, as this one, because it's, you know, it's over here, as this one it perfectly illustrates. It can be achieved, but it is going to take some conversation, both on the manufacturer side, the integrator side. Probably acoustics are going to come into play as well, and that's a whole nother beast that we haven't touched on here today. But that is, you know, that's hidden technology of a whole nother animal that you definitely are going to want to get involved with as well. But I think, you know, just kind of with that being the lead up, guys, when we hear audiophile, or when a designer hears audiophile, at what point does the conversation shift to being hidden technology to accepting that it's going to be seen? And sort of just, that's a deep conversation, but how do you, at that intersection, left blinker, right blinker, what do you just recommend to our design audience?
Sure. So, you know, when we hear the word audiophile, the person has really good audio, we have to set expectations with the customer of what quality of audio they're expecting. You know, for example, Leon has a soundbar. I forgot the number already. I know it's 44 something, which uses high performance speakers. So even though out of a soundbar, you're still getting exceptional sound, you know? So you know, usually, you know, we tell the customer, you know, hey, if you want to dedicate a room with one chair in the middle, all acoustics and things like that, yeah, definitely we can do that. But that's not a room that the whole family is going to enjoy. You know, that's not where you're just going to go downstairs and listen to music. Most likely music happens on a Friday night with a glass of wine and the family around you, or your neighbors around you. And, you know, and that is the new challenge. You know, we're socializing more. Well, not this year, but that's we're socializing more. You know, we're enjoying things more as a family. And this is the perfect example of that.
And especially now, even more, you know, like you spend so much time in your house, you want it to be operational, functional, and beautiful.
Yeah. Can you put the previous slide real quick? Yeah, so this one fairly quick. We did, the dog just happened to be there. That was not,
Well placed.
yeah.
Well played, dog.
between
It
all
helps with acoustic absorption as well.
And the dog just so this is Alexa's favorite product, which is the media edge frame. We just think that is the greatest thing in the world. It just adds character to the room. And once again, it just, it allows you to walk past the TV on the side and not see a bunch of wires and things like that. The media edge frame truly comes in different colors. You can do different things
I
with
just
it.
found out you can do fabric, right?
You can,
Yeah.
yeah.
We did a gingham one. Somebody wrapped it with gingham.
Love it.
That was kind of fun. Yeah.
Smart. Very cool.
Gingham style.
And I'm sure a lot of designers would love it. It's the one that it's a black one where you can do any color and you can put studs into it. I think that's a beautiful piece.
Yeah, that's definitely my favorite.
Yeah.
So, when talking to designers, the biggest thing is TC Fits, which is a custom grill for a soundbar. It's simple to use, and we do quite a bit of those. The media edge frame just takes it to a new level.
Metal, the metal.
Yeah, the metal, you can do different things. So it's really beautiful. So this house, they entertain a lot as a family. The wife did not want a TV there, and they just kind of had to compromise a little bit by us adding a media edge frame to complement the rest of the room. And customer was super happy.
Thanks so much, guys.
I would be too. It's beautifully done. You guys, we do have to wrap it up. Otherwise, we are going to get kicked out by the folks.
I can hear the music already.
But as we always want to continue the conversation, they're going to totally play us off of the stage in a minute. But that's okay. We wouldn't have it any other way. Do you ever get thrown out of bars like at 2 o'clock in the morning? It's the same thing. Yeah. Last call. Last call is at 2, not at 10.
That's right.
Silly. But we do continue the conversation. Audience and panelists, you're more than welcome to join us on Design Uncut weekly at Thursdays, 4 p.m. Eastern in our Kitchen and Bath Industry Group. And that's on Facebook, facebook.com/groups/KBI group. So it's easy enough. And I think we posted that in the chat today as well, and we'll follow up with everybody here. So we'd love to have you there. We'd love to have Leon back. We'd love to have all of you guys back, Angel, Alexa, Shanna, and Rocky, and deep dive into some of that, because I know you guys love to geek out, and that's room to do that. So we want to keep talking, because it's really important. There is a real mission here, is to connect the dots between design and tech, and you guys are already doing it exceptionally well, and we want other people to learn and think about that on their new project.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for having us, Veronika. We love your work.
Yeah.
I mean, your Instagram page is sick. I love it. I go on it all the time. I just love engaging with your whole community. It's just like, this is a good time to just look into things, get deep. And now it's definitely a good time, being it is a Thursday night. It's time to crack a bottle.
It
And
is.
now we're cracking
It
the
is.
plum.
We officially.
Cracking the plum
We were like
wine.
2 hours ahead of you. For some
Those
Those
reason.
guys have
We're-
cheers. I
Done.
back.
mean, at
Wow.
this point, I mean,
As long as someone on the East Coast says it's okay, you can do it. That's how it works. Well, this is the end of CDI Expo. It's the end of our show, and we'll see you guys online.
Yeah,
appreciate you guys.
yeah.
Yep.
Thanks, guys.
Catch you on another session. Bye.
Bye.
You guys are the best. Thank you.